Anyway, new inventory. How about the 60? Speaking of Cobras,
yes,
the 65 Ford ERA Cobra 427, black over black, 427 cubic inch, side oiler, V8, close ratio, top loader, manual transmission. ERA makes some really good Cobras. They make good bodies and all that. It's got a Jaguar independent rear suspension. One of the best ones built. ERA has really been on the forefront, on computers and that CRC technology or CNC where they cut out parts with water and digital computers and software and yada, yada, yada. I mean, all this stuff is pretty amazing, but they've been doing it for, 20 years or so. They were pretty much on the cutting edge of all this stuff that everybody takes for granted nowadays, but they didn't back then. But anyway, this one is really, really nicely done. And if you want the big bad boy, the 427 side, I mean,
right?
And it's not for everybody. Listen, that car is for the right person. If you come in here with your 16-year-old son to buy that for him, I might try to talk you out of it.
Yeah, that's right. For sure.
Because it's just not. That's not what it is. And listen, my little Cobra has a EFI 302 cubic inch 80s Mustang motor in it. It's plenty powerful.
That's right.
I don't need.
I can't imagine a 427 or 428 in those cars. And
I've driven an aluminum-bodied 427 that was a continuation Cobra from the factory, and came out of a parking lot and got on it, and it had so much torque, it felt like the body was just going to snap in two. It just snapped into place, and it was jarring. I mean, the way it snapped into place, and it was so ungodly fast. You
got to know what you're getting into when you buy one of these, even the recreations.
Well, the old story was Shelby used to he'd put you in the car, put the car in first gear, tape a $20 bill up to the dash and say, if you can reach it, you can have it, and put the car and dump the clutch and go, and you were just
pinned to the back.
Yeah, no way you were going to reach that.
From what I hear, ERA is one of the best recreations, and I sat in it, and it does feel different than the other ones. And the other ones are nice. I mean, we have some beautiful recreations.
You can buy a $30,000 Cobra recreation, or you can buy a $200,000 Cobra recreation. And of course, the real ones are, well, the one we have is $900,000 plus, although it's still here, so maybe it's not $900,000 plus, but it's somewhere in that neighborhood.
We love having it here.
We do. We don't want it to go.
Real Cobra 289, 1964.
Yeah, CSX 2133.
Something like that, yeah. I always try to memorize those.
I know, I do too, and then something else gets in your brain and you go, 2247, what?
I can't remember it's a real deal, though.
I feel like sometimes I do have a little dyslexia with numbers. Like I'll look at a number and then I'll transpose it somehow. And I don't do it often, but every once in a while enough, between that and my fighting in my sleep.
Really?
Yeah, that's like,
and your dreams about
dreaming about 1917 Packard that I can't get stopped or something. I don't know where that came from. And I was going 62 miles an hour. I knew that. And it was smooth. It was really impressive.
Yeah, they ride well.
They ride very well, and especially in my dream. So I'm just waiting for the day when my wife says, yeah, I think it's time for separate beds. You're a little thrashy at night. I don't know. I guess some people are more,
What other cars came in?
You don't like this conversation? You could just say you don't
getting you back on cars. I'm getting you back on cars.
You mean the rabbit hole was a little too deep? How about the 69 Camaro Z28? Le Mans Blue over Ivory. 67,000 actual miles, which is, think about it. That car is 54 years old. Yeah. Is that right? Gosh.
That's right. You are correct.
Yeah, 54 years old. It's got the correct 302 cubic inch V8, numbers matching Muncie M21 manual tranny, 12 bolt axle, one repaint with the original metal. So, and that's important.
If you're looking for a 69 Chevy Camaro Z28 with a 302, we actually have two very nice ones in inventory right now, and they're highly sought after, and these are very nice cars.
Yeah, and this one is just, the title verifies the mileage, which is interesting because that's not very many miles. You do the math on that. It doesn't add up to, maybe 1,500 miles a year that car's been driven. Of course, that's not entirely that unusual.
That's right.
What would be unusual to be C1 with 2,000 original miles on it or something like that. But this one is probably visually one of the best ones we've ever had. It's just really stands up tall. And then a little more affordable world is the 66 Austin-Healey Sprite convertible. Old English white, appropriate color name. Over black, and it's got lots of mechanical upgrades with an inline 4, 1,275 cc's. So Woo!
Hey, after watching Viva Las Vegas, it's something you might want to get into.
I tell you what, these cars feel faster when you're driving than they are.
Absolutely.
They feel faster than what the amount of horsepower that
Absolutely.
they have. And it's a 4-speed manual, and it's a lot of fun for the money.
Mm-hmm.
And the lower you are, as we talked about this last week, the lower your center of gravity is, the faster things feel. That closer to the road, it's like being on a go-kart. It always feels faster
it does.
than it really is. So really an interesting car. And it's kind of the cousin of the MG Midget, which was the little small version of the MG. And
but everybody's got an MG. Not everybody has an Austin-Healey.
Yeah, I mean,
this is really cool, very different.
I would say that you're likely to see more midgets than you would sprites, and you don't see a lot of those either.
That's right.
It's not like they're a dime a dozen. Other new inventory: 58 Chevrolet Brookwood station wagon. 1 year only body style like this 58 Impala was the 58 Brookwood, which I still cannot grasp how they made any money doing this.
And I had to look that up. I have not heard of a Brookwood.
Yeah.
But now that showed several years. As far there were a lot of photos.
The name of it,
the name,
but that particular body style was 1 year only. So they called other things Brookwoods, and they became like the bottom end of the market for station wagons, because they probably had 8 or 10 station wagons. Different models and makes, or different models and trim levels and things like that. So
the 58 was very cool. Some others looked like a 4-door sedan that they thought, well, let's just put this little cap like a pickup truck on the back of it.
Yeah, sedan delivery, if you will. Yeah. And this one has got a late model 350 cubic inch V8. With a automatic transmission, and this one is built to just be a good driver. That's what this one is. It's easy to drive. It's easy to maintain. Not a lot to go wrong with a 350 cubic inch V8 Chevy motor.
And wagons are hot.
Hot. So, and then this unbelievable 51 Mercury that we got in, this deep purple.
It's a band,
Smoke
isn't it?
On the wall. Don't let me sing ever again. Deep grape purple over white. This thing is chopped, shaved, smothered, channeled, you name it. It's been done. It's like the hash browns at Waffle House. What are they? Chunked? There's like 14 different ways you can get them. Sliced, diced, chunked.
Waffle fries.
Waffle House is great, although it's kind of an interesting place to go.
Wow, man.
I wish they had one around here.
I do.
I love them.
I love Waffle House.
Hey, Morgantown, you listening?
Yeah.
Delaware, I think the closest one.
I think
it would do well here, actually.
I think it would really do well here. And I think especially with the casino.
Business opportunity.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding. I mean, think about it. Late at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, nothing better than a Waffle House.
The classic Auto Mall Waffle House.
Or a Crystal from the South. If you're living in the South, Crystals were the little square steamed
White Castles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Crystals were better than White Castles. And
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Careful now. Wait
a minute. Here we go down the rabbit hole again. 51 Mercury hardtop is, man, this thing is so cool. 302 V8. This thing is it turns your head just like
pure show car.
Pure show car. Just it's a lead sled is what the nickname of these was from back in the day, and they're just really, really, really amazing cars that were so loved back then, and so that's what the hot rodders all wanted was the Mercuries, and they're kind of like the 40 Willies or 41 Willies.
What was the movie with Sylvester Stallone? He drove a big old Mercury.
That
Cobra?
Cobra, I think it was. That's on my list.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And so, last but not least, speaking of Mustang
and movies,
the 2008 Bullitt Mustang, dark Highland green, They all came in color if you're going to be a Bullitt, over dark charcoal. One of 4,300 built, 315 horsepower, 4.6 liter V8 with a Tremec manual transmission, 89,000 original miles. So it's a used car more than it is a collectible car, but it's a lot of car for the money. And it's a lot of car that you can enjoy and goes pretty quick. I mean, it's not like
it's one you can drive.
You can absolutely drive it.
And a movie car.
So there you go. Mr. Redundant in here.
We also have a 2019 Bullet in inventory, too. That's spectacular. If you're into the Bullet thing, we have a couple of them.
We have a couple of those. So when we return, we'll talk about some other things, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. See ya.